Well, in light of this last shooting in Dallas, and I know how the White House in D.C. is trying to make it seem, um, and we all know what the real deal is actually it's Soros funded indirectly, one way or the other. He's actually behind a lot of these things, whether it's through rhetoric or through direct funding, or maybe he gave this Dallas shooter the exact location of where the march of the Black Lives Matter was going to go, and therefore the shooters can be already set up to get the police and have them sitting like sitting ducks. Well, the whole damn thing is actually being orchestrated for consolidation of power at the top. And this is my solution for it because I know everybody's getting bent out of shape. Yeah, I'm showing the Florida state flag. First off, states' rights. We don't need to be dealing with D.C., the powers that are coming out of the federal government anymore. They're the ones that are pushing these policies that are actually anti-local police, and they're trying to control the local police through federal regulations. And another thing, I kind of like this flag because, it's got the American Seminole Indians, the undefeated tribe, actually the only American Native Indians that were undefeated. The great great seal of the state of Florida, "In God We Trust." Not afraid to put "In God We Trust" on it. Not that you have to be religious, but the fact that they're trying to make religion like not in the government at all, it's ridiculous. And every time you even go to a court, you swear on the Bible to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. I mean, our whole court system is based upon God, right? I mean, it's a given. Now, here's my solution for what you need to be doing is you need to actually support your local sheriff. And the way to do it's a simple way. Join your sheriff's association for your particular state, whether, whatever state it is. It's, Georgia, New Jersey, Florida, Texas. It's particularly, I guess, Texas, because what happened? Show a sign of public support for the police. It'd be nice if you could get a whole pile of millions of people signing up for the Sheriff's Association, being members. Just show some kind of support. You don't need to inundate them with, emails, and maybe that might be nice, showing that you're here for support. Now, I know, like on the other side of the coin is that not all the police are perfect. Police are humans. And on top of it, also there's other things going. It's not even so much the police; it's the freaking laws sometimes. I'm not somebody that ever used drugs or even used weed, but I tell you, I think that a lot of this stuff where these laws against drugs and particularly like weed or marijuana, even though that's the law. I don't agree with those laws, even though I don't ever smoke this stuff ever, and I don't drink or even smoke cigarettes or nothing, right? None of that junk. But I might have some Chef Boyardee raviolis. That's got too many calories in it, but I don't do it with mozzarella cheese. Maybe that's a bad thing. But but as far as any kind of drugs, I guess the only drug I take is coffee, espresso. I'll take a few cups of that a day. Might as well take the high octane stuff, black, without any freaking stuff, sugar in it or cream or anything. But, I guess you can call that a drug, right? Espresso coffee. But, I don't take any illegal drugs, never have. And, but, I'm not for that, these laws on that. I'm not for this really tough on crime stuff either. It depends on what the hell it is. And actually, I particularly don't like, how the criminal justice system works or the correctional facilities. I don't think they rehabilitate people. And I could just want to actually say something on here real quickly, whether you're a sheriff or somebody in law enforcement. A lot of times people don't realize, and the medical profession actually is some of the biggest criminals going, especially even like the psychiatric profession. A lot of times people that commit crimes do have I don't want to make an excuse for them, but sometimes they do have like this something in their head where they fly off the handle very easily and that type of stuff, and it could be a psychological condition. But these psychological conditions are not corrected with the psychotropic drugs that these criminal medical people deal. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here while I'm saying to support your local police, but forgive me for doing this because I don't want to just be all one way. I just want to actually bring out something where there's a major problem, actually even rehabilitating people. A lot of times the problems are due to, so for instance, schizophrenic behavior has been known to be cured by um, niacin, nicotinic acid, vitamin B3, the natural type, 3,000 milligrams a day plus 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. What happens is that helps the body produce a coenzyme called NAD. NAD. And the shortage of that coenzyme has always been prevalent in people with schizophrenia. Now, why don't they prescribe this, even though it's been proved in double-blind studies since 1952? There's no freaking money in it. And if you want to look up who the doctor was that originally discovered this, it was a medical doctor, Dr. Abraham Hoffer, and he also worked with Dr. Linus Pauling, who was not a medical doctor, but a two-time Nobel Peace Prize winner later on. And they coined, like Dr. Linus Pauling, coined the term orthomolecular medicine, healing with nutrition. This could be this could be a very cost-effective thing to actually put in diets of people that are incarcerated. Because who the hell knows? I mean, it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, it's not expensive. It's dirt cheap. 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C along with 3,000 milligrams of niacin is dirt cheap. Another thing that also causes seizures and epileptic fits, people like that have fits that sometimes it's not exactly epilepsy, but they have emotional fits, is due to a lack of ketones in the brain. And what corrects that is a high ketoronic diet. One of the things that actually raises the ketones in the brain is coconut oil. Why does the medical profession not do that? They used to do that in the 1920s until the pharmaceutical profession started taking over in the 1930s, and it was highly lucrative to use other things that were patented drugs, which are actually very harmful, and also gateway drugs to harder drugs, just like the psychiatric profession prescribes drugs to kids with ADHD. Those drugs for ADHD are actually cause suicidal tendencies in those kids, and they also are gateway drugs. The prescription drugs are actually gateway drugs to things like crack cocaine. Proven. So the all this junk, like with these big wigs on the top making all the money, is actually contributing to the crime, and it's like the police are caught between a rock and a hard place. I mean, although I know not every single cop out there is like perfect, but even the bad cops do stuff good a lot of times. I'll even say that. If you really, even the bad cops don't do stuff bad all the time. Even that, okay? But if you little common sense, you don't say a real lot to the cops. Like when you have a police encounter, you don't want to say a real lot because you don't know who the hell you're dealing with. It could be a real good guy, it could be an asshole. You don't know. I mean, I'm going to be bluntly honest here, but also just want to state that the police are being set up. I'm not like, I'm not being blatantly like, worship the police, right? But the police are being blatantly set up by people like Soros, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and other freaking NGOs that are actually looking to overthrow the United States local governments. So I think the public should get a big support for their sheriff's association in a respective state. I certainly just have. And, it's a matter of, show your support with your money. Go sign up for your sheriff's association. Go get your decals, your license plates, whatever it is. You support your sheriff's association in your state, and show your support. Now, I did diverge down a little bit of a side note on some things because I realized, I know like in a correctional facilities throughout the states, they're far from perfect. I mean, I wish things were like real rehabilitation, la la la. I know it's not like that, but I just kind of presented something that a lot of people aren't aware of, and I know that it's not going to work with a lot of people. Some people are just criminals, man. They're just rotten, and you give them all the vitamins in the world, they ain't going to do a damn thing. But sometimes, they got a little problem up in their head, and that could be corrected with orthomolecular medicine. Not the junk these Yeah, psycho. Psychologists. Yeah, they're crazy, man. I can tell you that right now. And you know what? The cops will tell you they're crazy, too. The cops will tell you the psychs are crazy. Because you know what? The cops have to deal with them because they got to go through, I think it's an MMPI psychological evaluation test or some shit every time they go to another job or something or change. They do something else. I forgot what it is. They got to go through this crap. And they got to deal with these nut job psychologists to psychiatrists to freaking go. I mean, the cops are caught up in the same system we are. You know what I mean? They can get screwed over more than us. That's what's screwed up. That's what's screwed up. So show your support. And actually what I was talking about with the correctional facilities, I didn't really want to go down that trail too much because, you know, I got a theory. Well, it's not a theory. I could tell you a lot of times people's behavior can be altered by, Tibetan meditation music, American Native Indian meditation music. Man, they ought to just pump that crap all through the prisons to just calm everybody down once in a while, I bet you it would. I bet you it would work. But, how much is that much? How much money is that? Real little bit. Probably compared to all the... I just think it wouldn't work like 100%, but if it works 10, 20%, it's cool. Saves a lot of money. Saves a lot of crap, too. Maybe if you're dealing with people a lot more calm, everybody getting along. That's another thing. Because you want to rehabilitate people, man. I mean, I'm not too keen on, real, tough on crime stuff. Not too much. Not too much. But, because I realize sometimes, and that the cops aren't like that too. I mean, they probably let a lot of people slide that they caught weed with. I bet you they do. I bet you they do. Depends on who it is. They use their judgment out in the field. They're not always like, yeah, the law says that. If you roll through a stop sign or something, they're not going to always nail you. You know what I mean? They give you a warning, right? So I mean, it's like they're the guys you deal with though on a one-to-one. And right now, there's this big fear put in their mind over this crap. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's strictly from George Soros, man. I say Soros actually set this crap up with this guy with these snipers in Dallas. And I'm saying he did. This guy, man, you know what? Right now, I'm thinking Vladimir Putin. I mean, I know you're a dictator and all this garbage, and I don't like dictators, but I'm thinking Vladimir Putin, the fact that you got an arrest warrant out on George Soros, I think that's a good thing. I hope you catch him, man. Get that bastard, man. Because I'm like, he's wrecking the United States. He's wrecking our states' rights. He's wrecking he's going after our local law enforcement and everything. And, it's like you could see I'm not like, because I know you can be too, I don't want to be blatantly like, it's like everything's a balance. That's really what the hell it is. Everything's a balance. It's like you can't be, unquestionably pro law enforcement. You can't be like unquestionably, obviously what the shooter did in Dallas was criminally insane and wrong as all hell. The guy, I don't know if that guy was even, I wonder if that guy was an American even, for crying out loud, or he's just or maybe he was a new citizen or some shit. I have no idea, because the way things are going in the United States, they're letting in so many people from somewhere other places. And, it's very easy for people coming in this country, even on a green card, to get, God, man. I mean, to me, it should be really easy to get a gun, but I'm not sure about people coming in on a green card or some shit, or a visa. I mean, a lot of people coming here on a visa, I mean, to get guns, no problem. Like, maybe they do need them for some things, but, I'm like, man, that's something else, because I'm beginning to think that this Black Lives Matter organization that's funded by George Soros, it's a terrorist organization to the max. And, I mean, everybody's aware of this. And, the one thing now that got out of the news over this thing that just happened in Dallas is you're no longer hearing about Hillary Clinton and the indictment she just got over on for freaking, just opening up all the State Department secrets to every country in the world that has halfway decent hackers. Because, if the Romanian hacker could get in there, everybody else could, right? So that's out of the news, right? So maybe this is another thing why this happened, because you always have an event that happens that's bigger to shadow another event. So I want to remind you that again. And unfortunately, I got to put out a lot of videos like this. I want to put other videos out on more on health, and I did kind of just put one out on health in here, intermingled with this video, because I actually think that the correctional facilities can actually be the rehabilitation process can be greatly enhanced through dirt cheap means like supplementing vitamin C and nicotinic acid, vitamin B3 in the food with coconut oil, and also like meditation, healing music being piped through the correctional facilities at different times of the day. It would actually help the psyche of people, and I don't know, not everybody, but it would calm down a significant part of number of the people that are in there, including the people that are guarding them, because not everybody that guards them is good too. I don't want to knock it, but you know what I mean. Everybody, it's a human element, and human element is always there no matter what. But by and large, you got to support your local police and work with your local sheriff, and not rather than just get pissed off at the situation that happened here, whereby you're realizing there was some piece of garbage went ahead and did this heinous act against the police in Dallas. Just go ahead and sign up and go sign up, go whatever your state sheriff's association is, sign up, do it now before you forget. Do it now and sign up for a year as a member, showing your support for your state sheriff's association, wherever that state is. Because I know sometimes people are not, most people are not 100% police, pro police, but they're generally pro police. That's probably what the average sentiment is. But what they're trying to do is take the power away from the local police and put it into a national police by creating all these incidents. That's what they're doing. And you can't say anything about one thing. It's just like anything. There's always that human element. There's always a human element in anything, because I can always point to it, no matter what organization it is, no matter how perfect it is or what, there's always a human element involved where you're not going to find perfection. So there's no such thing as having a utopian society. There's always going to be something wrong, So I mean, some critic of me is going to say, "Well, I know the police do this and that." I know there's always somebody doing something wrong. There's always somebody, but you got to look at the whole aggregate of what's going on. And you could say that about any individual. Even when you're driving down the road, you could be breaking a minor traffic infraction every freaking mile, or few miles or some shit, because maybe you didn't put your turn signal on quick enough, or you didn't slow down till right at the next speed limit sign, and maybe you waited till you got a couple hundred yards past it, or maybe you didn't quite come to a complete exact stop because you didn't see anybody coming down the road, right? I mean, it's like there's no such thing as perfection. Nobody's perfect. No human is perfect, and therefore no policeman's perfect. But overall, the police are doing a very fine job. Especially, you want to keep it at a local and state level. You don't want to be going down the trail of going to a national level, to a global level, like Soros wants, like he's going to be the king of the police or some bullshit. And you can see he's setting up all this garbage to freaking discredit everybody that's, sheriff, that's a regular, ordinary sheriff that's in a state that's doing a job for his citizens. And, show your support. Basically stick it right back to Soros by telling Soros go to hell, and show your support for your local sheriff, because that's what I'm doing. And this put me over on the edge doing this, to tell you the truth. This last thing, I said, this is ridiculous. It made me sign up for supporting my state's sheriff's association for that reason. It did. Not even as an ordinary member, but as a more premier member. So there you go. And I urge other people to do it. Don't just get mad, but take action. Support your local police. And probably take some of my advice on this rehabilitation stuff, because I know it ain't going to work for everybody, but it's probably overall it's going to be very successful for the cost involved. The cost is minimal, very minimal.